Hi friends, this video lecture is about a letter to Adolf Hitler written by M.K. Gandhi. In the previous sessions, we have already discussed the introduction part of this chapter. So let me directly come to the content or body of the letter. So, letter to Adolf Hitler, as at Werther, December 24th, 1940. So this is the beginning of the letter. As at Werther means it is written at Werther in Gujarat, December 24th, 1940. Dear friend, he addresses Adolf Hitler as dear friend. Even though they were not friends, he is addressing him as dear friend. That I address you as a friend is no formality. And he says, I am addressing you as a friend. It is not just for any formality, but I mean it. I owe no force because I own no force because I don't have any enemy. For means enemy. Everyone is my friend. Everybody in this world is my friend. I have no enemies. I don't consider anyone as my enemy. My business in life has been for the past 33 years to enlist the friendship of the whole of humanity by befriending mankind irrespective of race, color and creed. Gandhi says, my business in life or my life has been for the past 33 years. For the last 33 years, what I have been doing in my life is to enlist the friendship of the whole of humanity, to list or to find friends from the whole human beings of the world by befriending mankind, by becoming friends with man or men, irrespective of race, color or creed. I don't consider their color or their creed or their race, from which country they are from. Instead of considering all these things, irrespective of considering all these things, I have been befriending, I have been making friends from all over the world in my 33 years of political life. I hope you will have the time and desire to know how a good portion of humanity who view living under the influence of that doctrine of universal friendship view your action. And he says to Hitler that I hope, I wish you will understand, you will have the time and desire to know. That means I hope you will understand how a good portion of humanity who view living under the influence of that doctrine of universal friendship, who believe in universal friendship. Gandhi says that I wish you will understand that most of the people who believe in universal friendship, how do they look at your actions? We know that Hitler have been doing so many cruel things. So Gandhi says Gandhi is a man of universal friendship, and there are so many other people who also believe in universal friendship. So universal friendship is against discriminating anyone based on their race, their nationality, their color, creed, etc. But Hitler have been doing that. Hitler has been doing that. He has been killing or he had been killing Jews based on their ethnicity and race. So he was a cruel man in that sense. He was a person who stood against universal friendship. So Gandhi says, if you try to understand how these people who believe in universal friendship look at your deeds, they might not like what you have been doing. But your own writings and pronouncements and those of your friends and admirers leave no room for doubt that many of your acts are monstrous and unbecoming of human dignity, especially in the estimation of men like me who believe in universal friendliness. And Gandhi adds, your own writings, because Hitler had written certain works, including his autobiography Mein Kampf. So your writings and pronouncements, your speeches, your sayings, your announcements. So your writings and your announcements, and those of your friends and your friends also, those people who believe in your actions or your ideas, or those people who are fascist in nature, including Mussolini, or those people who have been following your ideals. So your writings, your pronouncement, and the writings and pronouncement of your friends and followers and admirers, those people who admire you. So this leave no room for doubt that many of your acts are monstrous and unbecoming of human dignity. So when we analyze, when we look at some of your writings, some of your announcements, or some of your pronouncements or your ideas, and some of the ideas and writings of your friends and admirers, we can easily understand that all your works are monstrous in nature. Monstrous means Bhidijanagam, or cruel, and they are unbecoming of human dignity. They are against human dignity, and especially in the estimation of men like me who believe in universal friendliness, and men like me who believe in universal friendship, we find that your actions and your friends' actions are monstrous and very horrific in nature, as well as they are unbecoming of human dignity. They are against human dignity. Such are your humiliation of Czechoslovakia, the rape of Poland, and the swallowing of Denmark. These are some cruel deeds done by Hitler and his Nazi army. They attacked and defeated and evaded Czechoslovakia, another country, and the rape of Poland. You people went and raped, you people destroyed, destructed Poland. And the swallowing of Denmark, you people literally swallowed Denmark, means you completely destroyed these three countries. So these deeds show that your activities are against human beings, human nature. They are highly monstrous and cruel in nature. I am aware that your views of life regards such spoliations as virtuous act. I know that your idea, your philosophy is that this kind of spoliation of life, or spoiling the life of other human being, is virtuous act according to you. Your philosophy, your Nazist ideology, your fascist ideology teach you to destroy or spoil the life of other people, but that is not the case. But we have been taught from childhood to regard them as acts of degrading humanity. So these acts, according to you, are highly virtuous acts. But we have been taught from our childhood that such activities are degrading humanity. They are not good for humanity. They are actually destroying or degrading humanity. So you may be thinking that what you are doing to all these countries and people over there are virtuous acts, but they are not at all virtuous acts. They are activities degrading human dignity and humanity. They are activities against humanity. Hence, we cannot possibly wish success to your arms. So, we are not going to wish you any success in what you are doing. We cannot wish you success in your cruel deeds. But ours is a unique position. But our position is a unique position. We resist British imperialism no less than Nazism. We resist British imperialism and we resist Nazism also. And as I have already mentioned in yesterday's class, British and Germany were in opposite group when they were taking part in World War II. Germany and Britain were in the opposite group. They were against, they were enemies. But we are not going to ask your help to defeat Britain. Okay, we oppose Britain's imperialism as well as Nazism of Germany. If there is a difference, it is in degree only. We oppose German Nazism as well as British imperialism, but the degree of opposition may be bit different. 1/5 of the human race has been brought under the British heel. Gandhi says 1/5 of the human race has been brought under the British heel. So, as we know, this letter was written in 1940. During that time, British imperialism was very strong in our world. Most of the countries were under British colonialism. So 1/5 of the human race, Gandhi says 1/5 of the human race are under the control of British rule by means that will not be a scrutiny. Okay, our resistance to it does not mean harm to the British people. Okay, it is true that British people are controlling us or ruling over us, but it does not, and we are resisting British rule also, but it does not mean that we should go and harm British people. That is not the right way of resistance according to Gandhi. Okay, British people are ruling us, they are spoiling our life actually, they are restricting our freedom, they have been colonizing us for centuries, and we are resisting, we have been resisting this colonialism, this imperialism, but that doesn't mean that we should harm the life of British people. We seek to convert them instead of harming them, instead of killing them. We want to convert them, we want to transform them as good human beings, not to defeat them on the battlefield. Okay, instead of defeating them in the battlefield, we want to convert them, we want to transform them as good human beings. Ours is an unarmed revolt against the British rule. We are doing an unarmed revolt against British rule. We don't believe in bloodshed revolution. Instead, we are doing an unarmed revolt. We are doing a revolt, but it is not by means of using any weapons or arms. But whether we convert them or not, we are determined to make their rule impossible by non-violent non-cooperation. Okay, we want to convert them, we want to transform them as good human beings, but we may not be sure they will become good human beings or we can convert them. If they are not ready to convert, we want to make their rule impossible in our country by following a different strategy. What is that strategy? Non-violent non-cooperation. Okay, നിസ്സഹകരണം, അക്രമരാഹിത്യത്തിലുള്ള, അക്രമമില്ലാത്ത നിസ്സഹകരണത്തിലൂടെ അവരുടെ ഭരണം ഇവിടെ ഇല്ലാതെയാക്കുക, ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാക്കുക, അവർക്ക് ഇവിടെ ഭരിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന സാഹചര്യം ഇല്ലാതെയാക്കുക എന്നതാണ് ഞങ്ങളുടെ താല്പര്യം. It is a method in its nature indefensible. They cannot defend if we follow this method, because if we start non-cooperating, if we start not, or if we decide to not cooperate with British rule, they will not be able to rule us. Okay, they can beat us using their power, but they cannot beat our souls, they cannot beat our determination. So we are determined to oppose or revolt against British rule through non-violence and non-cooperation, not through violence or armed revolution or bloodshed revolution. Okay, so it is based on the knowledge that no spoliator can compass his end without a certain degree of cooperation. Why are we following non-cooperation? Because it is based on this philosophy that no ruler can force or no ruler can rule any people if the people are not ready to cooperate with their rule. If we are not ready to pay our taxes, If we are not ready to agree with the rules and regulations put forth by the rulers, they will not be able to rule us peacefully. So we are going to make their rule impossible or difficult hereby not cooperating with their policies. So willing or compulsory of the victim. So the victim or the people's cooperation is highly needed for a government to go on or to rule in that particular country, but we are not going to cooperate with them. Thus we will make their rule impossible and difficult here. Our rulers may have our land and bodies but not our soul. Okay, they can control our land, they can even control our bodies by beating us or punishing us, but they cannot control our souls, our minds, our hearts. We are not going to get defeated by our rulers. We will fight against them through our determined souls. We will not cooperate with them. We will not agree to what they say. We will fight like that. Instead of shedding blood, instead of taking weapons or arms, we will fight using our determination and our strong souls. They can have the former only by complete destruction of every Indian. They can control our body and land by destructing our Indian men, man, woman, and child. They can beat us. They can even kill us. They can beat our men. They can beat our women. They can beat our children. But they cannot beat our soul. So even if they kill us, we won't be ready to agree to what they are saying. So that all may not rise to the degree of heroism, and that a fair amount of rightfulness can bend the back of revolts in it's true, but revolt is true, but the argument would be beside the point. Okay, having revolt in other ways are also possible, but we are not going for that. For because if a fair number of men and women be found in India who would be prepared without any ill will against the spoliators to lay down their lives rather than bend the knee to them, they would have shown the way to freedom from the tyranny of violence. Gandhi says, if lots of people, if a fair number of men and women, that means if lots of people in India are prepared without any ill will against the spoliators, against the rulers. If lots of people, men and women from India, are prepared to lay down their lives, they are ready to give away their lives with rather than bending their knee to the rulers, that is more than enough to get our life, get our freedom. അതായത് ഇന്ത്യയിലെ കുറേ ജനങ്ങൾ ബ്രിട്ടീഷുകാരുടെ മുന്നിൽ മുട്ടുമടക്കാൻ തയ്യാറാവാതെ, അവർക്ക് അടിമപ്പെട്ട് ജീവിക്കാൻ തയ്യാറാവാതെ ഈ തരത്തിൽ സമരം ചെയ്തിട്ട് സ്വന്തം ജീവൻ പോലും നൽകാൻ റെഡിയാവുന്ന ഒരു കൂട്ടം ആളുകൾ ഉണ്ടാവുന്നു എങ്കിൽ അവർക്ക് ചിലപ്പോൾ ഞങ്ങളുടെ ശരീരത്തെയും മറ്റൊക്കെ അടിക്കാം, വേദനിപ്പിക്കാം, ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഭൂമി കൈയടക്കാം, പക്ഷെ ഞങ്ങളുടെ മനസ്സിനെ കീഴ്പ്പെടുത്താൻ പറ്റില്ല. അങ്ങനെ സമരം ചെയ്തിട്ട് ജീവൻ പോയാലും വേണ്ടില്ല എന്ന് കരുതുന്ന കുറേ ആളുകളുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് തന്നെ ധാരാളമാണ് ഇവിടെ സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം കിട്ടാൻ എന്നാണ് ഗാന്ധി പറയുന്നത്. I ask you to believe me when I say that you will find an unexpected number of such men and women in India. Gandhi asked Hitler to believe him that if he comes to India, he can find so many such people who are ready to give away their life, or who are ready to fight against British rule without shedding blood through the method of non-violence and non-cooperation. You can find so many people in India with this mindset. They are not ready to kill British people. They don't want to shed blood. Okay, they don't want to destroy any human beings. Instead, they want to fight imperialism and colonialism by resisting their rule or making their rule impossible through non-violence and non-cooperation. They have been having that training for the past 20 years. For the past 20 years, I have been giving them the training for non-violence and non-cooperation. So you can find so many such people in India if you come here. Okay, this is what Gandhi says to Hitler. We have been trying for the past half a century to throw off the British rule. We know that British have been or had been ruling us for centuries, but Indian people didn't actually, try to get freedom from them in the initial stages. We know if we know that when we analyze the history of Indian freedom struggle, it became very strong after 1990s. Okay, there were certain small, rebellions against British people here and there before 1990s, but after 1990s, fight against British rule in India, British Raj in India, became really strong or intensified in its nature. So we have been trying for the past half a century, for past 50 years, to throw off the British rule. We have been doing our best. The movement of independence has been never so strong as of now. The movement of independence is very strong now compared to older times. The most powerful political organization, I mean the Indian National Congress, is trying to achieve this end, achieve this goal. Indian National Congress was the most powerful political organization of India during that time. Gandhi says this political organization is trying to achieve this aim, this goal of attaining independence from British rule. We have attained a very fair measure of success through non-violent effort. As of now, this is written in 1944, right? So Gandhi says, as of now, we have achieved so much success through non-violent efforts so far. We were groping for the right means to combat the most organized violence in the world, which the British power represents. So we have been trying to combat or fight against the most organized violence in the world, that is British rule. British rule is the most organized violence in the world during that time. As we already said in the previous paragraph, 1/5 of the entire human population was under the rule of British people during that time. That means they have been doing violence in an organized way on the 1/5 of the human population. So that is why Gandhi calls the British as the most organized violence perpetrators. Okay, so you have challenged it. We know that you people, Germans, have challenged British rule. You people have fought against British rule. You are their enemy. We know that. It remains to be seen which is the better organized, the German or the British. According to Indians, you both are same. And which one is better organized? That is the only difference. We know that the British heel means for us and the non-European races of the world. We know that the British heel means for us and the non-European races of the world. Okay, but we would never wish to end the British rule with German aid. We want to end the British rule in India. We want to get freedom, independence from British rule. But it doesn't mean that we would ask your help. We would never ask the help of Germany to end British rule in India. Why? Because Germany is a Nazi country. You are also doing criminal activities against humanity. So we will never ask your help for attaining independence or freedom. We would never wish to end the British rule with German aid. We have found in non-violence a force which, if organized, can without doubt match itself against a combination of all the most violent forces in the world. Okay, Gandhi says that through non-violence we can defeat all the non-violent forces in the world, including British Empire and German Nazism. So we don't want your help. We will defeat all the strongholds, strong forces in the world using our method of non-violence and non-cooperation. Okay. So this goes on like that. We can discuss the remaining part in the next class. Okay.